Today, I'm going to talk about something that has intrigued a lot of people. All of us love to speak. Speaking is something we do on a daily basis. But we see the impact of speaking on someone is different than somebody else that we're speaking with. That is where the way you speak, are you able to influence and inspire people to think and go ahead with your ideas? So I'll help you untangle this mystery of influential speaking. And after the talk, you'll have great tips that you can include in your everyday conversation, which will help you become a better speaker and an influential one. So, hi everyone, this is Drishti Jain here. Um, I am a computer engineer. I'm a tech geek. I'm also a social entrepreneur, wherein I try and bring technologies and especially to the sector of students who are unprivileged because due to financial constraints, due to some or the other past in their history, they have not been given the same facilities that we have been given. So I try and bring technology to that less privileged section of the society. And that is something I hope to do in the long run as well. And along with that and my day job, I am an international tech speaker. I speak at conferences across the globe on varied technology topics and also soft skills like the one I'm doing today. And I'm a mentor to a number of college going students who are first in their generation to attend college and to help them navigate the path of the tech journey and how can they be a part of this wonderful tech ecosystem and the community that we all are a part of. So let's start firstly about speech. Take a moment to think about what does speech mean to you? Is it something, what comes in your mind? Is it about during your school or college days when somebody used to go up on the stage and speak about something? Is that what speech comes to you as? Or speech is something that, do you see speech as a tool that you can use to your advantage? There's a difference between you speaking and giving a speech, but are you able to give a speech without the other person knowing that you're trying to give a speech or influence them? There is this wonderful quote said by Ralph Emerson that speech is power and speech can be used to persuade, to convert, and to compel. Don't take this the wrong way. Think of it wherein you can use speech to empower people. Think of all the times wherein the great leaders of the countries as well as environmentalists have used speech as the tool to influence and motivate people to go ahead and do something which is right and do something for the cause. Taking, for example, Malala Yousaf, she was able to use speech to share with the world the difficulties and how she was able to overcome them and inspire tons and tons of girls across the world, especially in developing countries. Speech is a tool which can help you take places which you have not ever been to before. It persuading someone, if we decode the quote, persuading someone should not be thought of only in the negative way. You can persuade someone to inculcate good habits in their daily routine. Or if you're working in a tech-based company, if you're working in the software development space, you can help persuade people to go ahead with your idea, which due to valid positive points you have thought of makes it a better case to go for with. For example, if you want a particular process to use a particular technology, you have the pros and cons listed for the current old technology being used and putting across the points that you have and persuading people to go ahead with that solution. That is what speech and effective speaking can enable you to. It can convert the way people are currently doing tasks and the way that they want to do it in future. And speech is the powerful tool which can take you places. Even you must have observed this in your day-to-day routine job as well. Somebody who is able to speak and present their ideas or even showcase the work that they're doing in a proper way to the stakeholders at the company. That is what takes them ahead in the promotion curve or in the hierarchy or even in contributing more. They get to work on different projects. But somebody who is doing the work but is not able to rightly present it sometimes tends to take a little longer to reach there. So my suggestion to all of you is to look at speech as something that is a big tool that you have. Just like you use a particular technology as a tool to accomplish a complex task, think of speech as the tool to navigate the complex structure of life and all the events that we do. So what are the key things that work? What is it that will make you stand out? Everybody has their thoughts, everybody shares them. But how do you ensure that you are the one who's able to stand out of the crowd? How is it that you will be able to persuade people, to influence people in their decisions? How will you do that? So the first and foremost thing is you being authentic. Believe me, being authentic is what the world values. Nobody wants to be friends with a fake person or be friends with somebody who's not presenting authentic information. The main thing, any influential speaker who's out there that you have heard to, be it TED Talks or other talks or attended live speeches of, you'll realize that you connect with the speaker who's more authentic to what they are speaking about. Being authentic is what uh, being authentic is actually like the link which connects the speaker and the audience. If you are more authentic, the audience will be able to understand what is it that you are trying to communicate. And if they see that that is just something that is out of a book, it would not connect with them. It would not develop the interest that would make you stand out from anybody else. It is very important that you being real is what gets portrayed in the way you speak and what you're speaking as well. Sharing accomplishments about a project you contributed to, which you've actually contributed to, that is authentic. That will surely turn heads around and that will keep the conversation going. Whereas just talking about something that you have not done, firstly, that is completely wrong. As well as since it is not authentic, people would not connect to you. So being authentic is what is the key. And it engages the audience. If you, for example, if you're sharing something with a group of people and you share a personal story of yours, you'll see that people around you will engage more. Have just think about a time during a social party that you were at and somebody shared about their struggle of uh, going to college or their struggles at a new job during the first week or month of their new job. Were you able to relate to them at some point? We do not tend to think about these things that happen on a daily basis. But if you just observe around you and the conversations that you have, you'll see that any authentic conversation that you have with a person, you yourself are engaging with that person and with that conversation. So being authentic helps one in engaging, and that is what also makes you an influential speaker, because you will be able to connect with the audience at some point which nobody else has been able to connect with. And that connection will motivate the person to follow to what you are speaking and will try and connect to your ideas. So do remember that you should be authentic in any and everything that you share with someone. Also, an important thing when you are speaking and to become an influential speaker is to have a situational awareness. You should know at what point are you speaking about what thing. For example, if it is a sad moment around, if for example the project builds have failed recently, I'm taking an example of everyday job of a software developer. Taking the example of a release time wherein jobs are failing, and the production code is not working as it should, especially once it has been at the production level. At that point, if you're trying to influence people that the idea that we used was the correct one, then that is completely wrong. Analyze and read the room. What is the room trying and tell you? Having situational awareness will actually, it is a little tough when you're starting of actually thinking and giving it a thought of speaking. But once you realize speaking the right thing at the right time is important, we tend to just focus on the fact that speaking the right thing is important, but that is not true. Speaking the right thing at the right time is important. So reading the room, thinking about the situation that is happening, or if there's a lot of, if you see that the room is very happy and you are going ahead to give a speech or give a monologue, and you see that the audience is more engaged or is talking about a game and the scores of the game that is currently happening live. So it is important that you include that in your conversation. That should be your icebreaker. You should read the room and use it to your advantage. Only if you do that will you engage with audience at a way that is different from anybody else who's spoken before you or will speak after you. And also situational awareness means that many a times things will not go as planned. Whatever you had thought, things will not go like that. You might have to think on your feet and take the route that is more better because of the situation. It might not be the optimal route. I'm talking about a route which is not that optimal, but based on the situation, it is the best one. So having the situational awareness, thinking on your feet during your talks, during your speeches, or even in a daily conversation is very important. You have to be fluid. Be fluid. Or personally, I always think that everything happens for a reason. And that thought helps me believe and motivates me to be fluid with the situation that I am in. If I am starting out a new job, in that way, I know that there will be instances wherein there will be things that I do not know. And what do I do at that time? So that is something that will be there. So how do I cater to it? And also it is important that you see how and where are you in the current moment. If you see that the audience is not interacting that much, use voice modulations. Sometimes taking a pause, giving the audience a time to think, did they miss something? That eagerness is what makes us human, and use that to grab back the attention. Especially in the current situation, especially since the past year or so, we have all been working remotely, and all of our meetings, which used to happen in person, it used to be more engaging, but it has been a challenge to do that in the virtual space. So it is important that you use voice modulations. You take relevant pauses that will help a person to connect back. Because especially with the screen, be it entertainment or be it work, at both the points, we are just in front of a screen all day, 24 hours a day. So why is it that you will be able to grab the attention of someone? How will you do that? So this will help you achieve that. And the most important thing is to believe in what you say. For example, taking a very simple, vague example of a party, for example, if you think that having pizzas for dinner today at the party is a good idea, then go ahead and say that. Don't just say that it's good to have burgers today for the party. Do you know why? Because when you say something that you actually believe in, only then will you be able to create the influence that you have. Because first and foremost, before speaking to somebody else, you should be able to convince yourself of what you are thinking. If you are not able to convince yourself, that is one person, how do you expect that something that you're saying will influence tens and hundreds of other people? If there's a road that has never been taken and you want everybody in your team, in your project, to take that route and spend all their time, ask the company to spend all their resources, especially monetary resources, on taking that route, and if you yourself are not convinced that that is the right route, you will not be able to bring everybody on board to do that. So it is very important that you believe in what you are saying. Also, along with this comes the confidence that you should have. So whenever you're presenting something that you actually believe in, you will know everything about it. Like, you'll know why it is a better option, what are the pros, what are the cons, and why you should do it. So you should have a good amount of confidence in when you are convincing other people to take that route. Confidence is what there will be, confidence is what will take you there and will also bring everybody happily on board with you. not forcefully. So it is important that you create that willingness in the other person from within to come and join you. And that is something that cannot happen if you yourself are not confident. Remember the time when you were a kid, and if your parents used to say that, okay, try this out, let's try gardening, and dig a hole in the soil and we'll plant a plant there. Your parents used to say it with confidence, right? That is why you were influenced to do it. Think of influence in every aspect of your life. It could be in anything, right from how you set up your room to your workplace. You can see influence everywhere. Even a group of friends deciding on where we should plan our next road trip. That also involves a lot of influencing other people around, right? Think of an example of the road trip. You want everybody to spend their time, energy, money to go on a trip, and you want them to go to your favorite place and not theirs. So they should see what is it that will benefit them in that trip and not only you. Only then will they be on board. So it is important that you believe in what you're saying, and that is what will help you take others on board to your idea. And always present to captivate attention. This could be in a number of ways. Um, right from, think of the times, do we scroll any social media sites like Instagram, Facebook a lot, Twitter a lot, right? And most of the things, if you'll see, it's about extraordinary things about ordinary things. Do you see that you'll come across varied extraordinary facts about some or the other ordinary thing that is there. For example, a particular mango was sold for a very high price as compared to regular mangoes. So that is like an extraordinary fact about an ordinary thing. So that is what captivates your attention. So whenever you're presenting, present to captivate attention. You can also present in the form of a story. Have you ever thought, why do novels tend to engage you so much? Even if they're of hundreds and thousands of pages, they're very thick, but you are intrigued to read them. What is it that makes you want to read a particular novel? It is because they do not just list it down in the form of like bullet points, or even if somebody is sharing their story, sharing their personal journey, they just do not go and say that I was born in so and so year, I did this, I did that, and then I was able to reach the VP level at a company. No, right? They tend to inculcate it in the form of a story. So, what does it mean? That stories actually can be used as a way to motivate people. And the reason for that is stories let time sit. Like, story takes a little time, and it builds around the whole concept in your head. When you're reading or listening to a story, you will be captivated from it, and you will want to know what happens next in the story. So it is important that you are able to present your ideas in the form of a story that will help you gain trust of a lot of other people. And once you're able to engage the audience, at that time, you have done 80% of your job of influencing the other person. If the other person is engaged and is looking at you while you're speaking, you know that that person is more than enough convinced and will be able to follow along of what I have to say. So presenting in the form of a story is very, very important. And believe me, it goes ahead with all possible disciplines that are out there, be it your office work. Even there, presenting something just blatantly out there will not create the impact that it will create in the form of a story. You could also do a little extra research and find out instances wherein a similar approach that you are proposing was used by some other company or team, and they were able to generate the results that you expect to generate. So sharing that is what will be very influencing to any and everybody as a part of your team. Also, if you are trying to share something with a group of friends, even at that time, sharing something in the form of a story will be much more engaging and will actually help inspire others as well. Just listing out facts will not engage. So try and use a story that will help you share the knowledge better as well, because you'll be able to share more details when you're sharing it in the form of a story. And also, it will help the other person understand it better. Just throwing out jargons one after the other is not going to help. Creating a proper structured story around it will help the other person interpret it better as well, because they will be listening to like the connecting words. Then you'll throw in a jargon word, they'll be able to grab that, and this will go on for your whole story, and that will help them engage, because they will be able to understand and keep up with what you are saying as well. So these are like the main things which help you influence. But to actually untangle the mystery of influential speaking, we have to unlock and unravel the main mystery that is out there. Can you think of what is the main mystery to become an influential speaker? It is people. People are the biggest mystery. That is the audience, the person that you are trying to influence, that you're trying to speak to. And we as humans are very, very complex beings. We have a ton of emotions, ton of thoughts, ton of opinions, and changing that or keeping that aside and listening to somebody else and getting influenced to that, believe me, is a very big job. Think of a simple example as if you're using your toothpaste, something you use every day, all days of the year. If you're using toothpaste of brand A, somebody else uh, of the marketing team of company B has the job to influence you to change your perspective and convert you from using toothpaste of brand A to that of brand B. Can you imagine? It is such a tough and a tedious job. It is something that you do every day, and you have to be convinced enough that the things that were happening here, the anything like the taste, the benefits of this toothpaste versus the other, and still uh, company B has the aim of having you use their toothpaste. This example, if you think about it for a little bit, you'll understand what is the importance of influencing someone. It could be from a very small thing of like changing your toothpaste to taking big decisions in your everyday job. Or if you are working in a startup or have your own startup, you have to take critical decisions. You have to be the person that other people in the team look up to, that investors are convinced to. You influence others so that they invest in your idea, your thought. So understanding people, that is the other side of the spectrum when you are trying to put your point across. So that is the main thing that one should focus upon. So going back to the question of how do you get someone to do something? Out of everything that is out there, why should the other person just agree to what you are saying and try and do the thing that you are doing? Even though other things are very much similar to what you are proposing, but there's a little bit uniqueness to it, which makes it different from others. How do you get people to do it? The answer is very simple, yet very complex. It is having the other person want to do it. The willingness of other person to do something is what you should capture upon and work upon so that you are able to influence that person. Will you, if I say that go and buy a coffee right now, will you do it if you do not want to? No, right? I should be able to convince you as to why this particular moment is the time wherein you should get up, leave your house, go out, get a coffee and come back. So only when you want to do it, will you do it. This is very, very crucial to understand. Let me share a personal story. So my aim was to have, my roommate was not very messy, but messy enough that the room overall didn't look really good. And I wanted her to keep her side of the room more clean so that overall it looks a lot better and there's more cleanliness in the room. But I tried a number of ways. I asked her day and night, even like during conversations during the weekends when we used to discuss what we did. I used to ask her that, hey, but why don't you clean your room? It looks a little shabby. Why don't you keep things in their place? It'll look much, much better. But believe me, it was all in vain because there was no way that she would change something that she has been doing just because I have been telling her to do so. But I did get her to make her room look very clean. How did I do that? You may ask. Very simple. So one day, she just arranged her pillows properly on the bed, and I appreciated the wonderful choices that she had made in choosing her bed sheet and pillows and how everything blended well. And it actually looked really good. And that small appreciation went a long way. She felt good from inside about the choices of colors that she chose while picking out the bed sheets, the blanket, and the pillows. And that motivated her to keep it more better. And within a few weeks, I could see that she made an effort herself so that she's able to showcase the wonderful choice that she has. And you see, this helped me as well, that her side of the room was clean because she was able to see what is in it for her. She saw keeping her room clean as a way to show others the great choices that she's able to make while doing anything in her life, right from picking the right color combination for pillows and the mattress. So it is very important that you know the importance of appreciation. A small encouragement, um, a small conversation about appreciation can go a long, long way. It is, appreciation can be the way which brings a smile to a person's face on a very gloomy day. You must have observed it in your daily lives as well. There are a lot of things that we do unconsciously and also, that we do subconsciously in our daily lives that we don't tend to give a thought upon. So if you were having a gloomy day and somebody in the office appreciated the way your desk was organized or what you were wearing, even if it is the same thing that you wear generally as well. But that small appreciation can change the day, can change the mood of your complete day. So it is very important to know the importance of appreciation. And actually, appreciation as a tool, most people do not realize this, but appreciation is a great and effective tool to become an influential speaker as well. And I'll encourage you to take a moment to think about when you were recently appreciated by somebody. That could be related to work, related to non work. How did it make you feel? A few moments before the appreciation and a few moments after the appreciation. I'm sure you went on cloud nine when somebody appreciated you for something on a normal day. And try and remember that feeling of happiness and confidence. It must have boosted your confidence. So just imagine when you appreciate somebody else, how will it make them feel? It will make them feel very, very good and very, very happy. So it is very important to see, and even at work, if you see if there's an intern in your company and you appreciate the work they were able to do with a particular function or a particular part of the project, that will boost their confidence, as well as that will improve their efficiency at work every day. This does happen a lot, but we tend to not observe it as much as we should have. So always remember that appreciation goes a long way in doing anything and everything that you want to do. And it is very important that you become a great conversationalist. So whenever you speak, you should speak to connect. Try and find things which connect to both of you. It could be sports, it could be the love for gardening, it could be traveling, it could be um, going skiing, anything that helps you connect. Once you have that connect, whenever you'll speak, you'll be able to impart and share knowledge in a very different way. And it is important that you do not be self-centered. You should not speak about topics that only interests you. think of what is it in for the other person, and that will help you reframe your thoughts and share things which are common to both of you and not being self-centered. Also, a great way to accomplish this is to speak about shared interests, drawing comparisons from everyday life. Like, for example, if you like outdoors, then you can connect over what is it that you like in outdoors. Is it a particular sport that the two of you are interested in? Or situations that both of you have been. Maybe you were first ones in your family to attend college. So that can be a great way to connect to the other person. So try and step into the shoes of the other person, and that will create a connection like no other. And this, along with many other ways, will help you become an influential speaker. Now, these are things that will help you as a person and develop skills which will help you. But the content that you share, the content that you use to share and influence people is also very important. So having the right balance of concrete and abstract information. Your content should not under-deliver, nor should it over-deliver. So having the right amount of facts, numbers, abstract information in your content is very important. Um, and this also brings back to being aware of the situation that you are in. If you're speaking about a technical topic at a technical conference, or if you're presenting your research paper, at that time, 80 to 90% of what you're speaking will be technical and will involve a lot of facts. But if you are speaking in a casual manner to your teammates, or you lead a team, you are a manager of a team, and at that time, if you are trying to just plant the seed of a new idea that you might bring up coming in the week, at that time you would want to include a lot of abstract information which will build up to back the idea that you are planning to present. So having this balance and finding this balance is very, very important. Take some extra time, but do create this balance, and that will help you, and you'll see the drastic change and benefits. And an important part of you becoming an influential speaker is visualization. No, I'm not talking about visualizing data, but actually I'm talking about visualization, which will help your words create like a mental map, mind map, or like pictures, images in the other person's brain. If the other person is able to engage and listen to you and is able to create like a mind map, at that point, the person will connect much, much better with you. And how do you do that? Before that, take a moment and think about all the novels that you have read. Most of them you see that do not contain any pictures, but you are able to visualize and create like a way of actually imagining of how things must be taking place. So how was the author able to achieve that? They were able to include words which created like a memory image of the things that are happening. So it is very important that whenever you are using words, whenever you are speaking to other people, try and use words which create a mental picture. Use visual terminology, which will help create a mind map or a virtual picture of things that are happening. Don't let the main idea slip out though. Your main idea, it should not be difficult for the other person to understand the main idea of the conversation or what you're trying to actually achieve by speaking or sharing information. That main idea should be the key hero, the key player in the conversation that you're having. But it is very important that it should be visual for the other person to understand what you are trying to say. It should not be a case wherein you're over visualizing something, because that would mean that the other person has to find like a needle in a haystack. But it is something that the other person enjoys, engages in. So any and everything that you do should include the things that are there. So just trying to summarize everything that I've shared, I know it's a lot, but these are tips and tricks which actually you'll be able to observe every day in the real world as well and apply it to yourself. And if you just pay more attention to each and everything that was able to motivate you and which motivated you to do a particular task, at that point you'll understand that if I just change the way that I'm speaking from being just from being just a speaker, I will be able to influence and actually have people understand and see things my way. So I encourage you all to actually go ahead and use these tips, try and use visual words. And while doing all of this, do not forget to be authentic and believe in what you are saying. So with those words, I'd like to end my talk. I think I'm up time as well. So thank you everyone for having me today here at JScamp. And I hope to see all of you as great influential speakers. Thank you.